in ornery mood right now. You know, because, you know, I can be. Everybody has their moments. And so I was just thinking about, you know, my Medal of Honor art project that I was working on, you know, and all those, you know, letters I sent and the writings and stuff. And, you know, I have this weird thing about me. Um, I just don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to make anybody angry, and it doesn't matter who they are. I mean, realistically, I just don't have um, that inclination to purposefully go out of my way to upset anybody, unless so there is that unless or but or you know however there are a few categories that I will make an exception to those rules. um, One, if you go after my children, that one, you know, if you go after my children, I am like any mom, and you know, for not to be sexist, you know, dad who you know very much cares about my children, and so you know, I've told people, you know, if you're gonna attempt to upset me, you want to come at me. You do not want to go after my children because I am very protective of my children. I love my children. I will do everything I possibly can, but remain myself. And so there's that. Now, as much as in reference to that situation, in reference to my daughter, as to what happened at um, McCoy Elementary School because of that stuff in Carrollton Farmers Branch Independent School District, I did everything I possibly could because as much as I wanted to have a physical altercation, which I did, oh, I did, I very much did, I really, truly, truly did, um, I chose not to because I had not just my daughter to take care of, but my son. So I had to, you know, not do that. I really, realistically, it took everything in me to not go over to those three parents' houses. It took every bit of strength I had to not go over to those three parents' houses. It really did. I had their addresses. I was ready to, but I knew how to keep myself calm because I really did want to, you know, have a face-to-face conversation, face-to-face. And I would not have cared. But, you know, I had not just my daughter to take care of, I had my son to take care of. So I have a lot of self-control because anybody that's ever learned about that knows very well that I had their addresses, their home addresses. I could have gone to their houses and waited. I did not. I did not. I thought about it. I will not deny that. I thought about going over their houses, and I chose to because I needed to make sure my children were taken care of. So then, you know, you could hypothetically say that at that point in time, I hypothetically did a ritual for that pact to come forward. Hypothetically. Because I knew that I needed to do everything I could for my son and my daughter. So, I can joke about, the reality of certain situations in which, well, I'm sure you've heard the neighbors behind me, slamming their little doors, on their little temper tantrums. But yeah, it's one of those. I've told people, if you wanna come at me, don't come at my children. I'm very protective. Don't come at my friends who are like family. I'm very protective. And, if you want to come at me, you come at me. I am very, very upset about my Medal of Honor art project having been messed with. I know I can't be the only one. I know I can't be the only one that's upset about that. But I have done everything I possibly could to, keep calm. And, not, lose it. Because that would be really bad. But, and it would go against certain aspects. So, I have contacted the individuals that I have, the different agencies and groups, because, calm. But I do have to say that despite what is going on at this point in time, because I am as I am, I can laugh to myself knowing that I will never give a divorce to those who chose to cause harm to my children. Of course, that's obvious. That's an obvious one. Purposefully, like, those 3 parents that chose to lie to the school district about that whole thing. Will not divorce my dead ex-husband's sisters, both of them, for what they did as far as, not caring about my daughter and caring more about, everything but. But then again, they also put what they put into his casket, so, there is that. I obviously will not forgive my biological mother or my biological sister for their parts in that. And now they very much defended. I mean, even my biological father. And then when he found out what Robert had done in full, then he was kind of like, if I had known that, he wouldn't be breathing. And it's like, yeah, well, he admitted to you what he did. And he was just like, yeah, but he didn't go in full detail like that. And I was like, yeah. Yep. But, especially in reference to my Medal of Honor art project. See, that not obviously never denouncing my children. That's just, no. Because despite having to legally do so for my daughter for the health aspect, I have never denied her being my daughter. Ever. Never denied that. I admit that in Washington State I did not discuss that very often because I didn't want to start crying. Because I spoke of it once or twice with one of the females where I volunteered, and I was incapable of not crying as I explained the situation. And so it was one of those I can't, and you know, anybody who cares about their children, obviously, in that situation, would justifiably be upset. But in reference to those who cause problems for my Mel on our project, I will never divorce you. Ever. It will not occur. It will not occur. If you caused harm to my Medal of Honor art project, on top of everything else, or separate from, nope. And it's not that I can anyway. I mean, I can spiritually do it. I can spiritually do that. I just won't. Because, you know, if you, as in you cherubim ones who have caused problems for my Medal of Honor art project, if you truly do not want to be married to my dead ex-husband, spiritually, then you can sue me for your divorce. Because I'm the only executrix. And I didn't have to tell anybody about any pact or ritual that was owed for what was done. Although he discussed it when he was alive. He told people about that. So, you know, if there are those who are, you know, considered the cherubim ones that cause problems for my Medal of Honor art project, that would like a divorce, file the paperwork, you know, when the court's open. Because, you know, depending on the amount of time you've been married, right, there's that, what is it, alimony that's owed and stuff like that. And, you know, as the one and only executrix, you know, if you cherubim ones that cause problems for my Medal of Honor project really truly want a divorce, you know that is not free. Not at all. But if you want that, I will give you the option and let you know that, you know, when the court systems open up, you can file for that through the Texas courts. And then we can go before a judge. And the judge will, you know, this is what will happen. You will have to inform the judge, as well as me, but the judge, of how long you've been causing problems. And, you know, that backdating of your sealing to one another. And, you know, if you truly want that, go file the paperwork. Go ahead. But you're going to have to be prepared to tell a court in Texas of what you did. So, like, for example, Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen and Susie Marie Nichols Lopez, you two will have to start by telling the courts what you put in his casket and all that, as well as your children. And then, you know, anybody thereafter. And, you know, as far as like, for example, I could see Sandra, Mary of Angelina Nichols Osteen's oldest daughter, going and doing stupid stuff. I could also see Christine from the Jade Wolf Coven being stupid, along with Thomas Marsden. A few others that would be arrogant. Arrogant enough to think that wouldn't be a big deal. And, you know, but it is. If you really, really, truly want a divorce, when the Texas courts open and you can file for a divorce, please do. I'll meet you in court. But I am going to give you the heads up that I will be the lawyer, which means you will have to answer my questions in a court of law. If you truly, truly, truly want that divorce. Otherwise, if not, I guess you just enjoy that so much. As I said, I feel